Okay, the next topic is dialysis. In the previous class, we have seen the structure of kidney, structure of nephron, and we have also seen how the kidneys are going to remove the waste material from our body. In some other persons, these kidneys are going to fail. In that case, dialyzing machine is the only thing which is going to remove the waste material from the person whose kidneys are damaged, and this machine will be very costly. So, and the persons who are going to go for dialysis, they have to go for every fortnight to one month, depending on the condition of his body. It depends on the condition of his body. And one more important thing is there is a hormone which is released by our brain, which is known as vasopressin. Vasopressin helps in the reabsorption of water from the kidneys. In some of the persons, if this vasopressin is not released in required quantities, then that person suffers from a disease known as diabetes insipidus. Means excess urination process will take place in that person. A hormone known by vasopressin will be released in each and every human being's body by pituitary gland. If this vasopressin is not released in required quantities by a person's body, then it results in a disease known as diabetes insipidus. This is not normal diabetes. This is different to that of diabetes which you have come across in your daily life. That diabetes is, the other diabetes is diabetes mellitus, in which blood glucose level increases. This diabetes is different to that of this diabetes. Diabetes insipidus means if vasopressin is not released in a person's body, then excess amount of urine, that is reabsorption of water, will not take place in the kidney. As a result of which excess amounts of water will be liberated from his body. That disease is known as diabetes insipidus. This is mainly due to lack of vasopressin. Diabetes mellitus means where blood glucose level will increase, and this is caused mainly because of non-production of insulin. Our pancreas releases an enzyme known as insulin. If this insulin is not going to be released in a person's body, then it results in the increase of blood glucose level. That is, glucose levels in the blood increases in that person, and then that disease is known as diabetes mellitus. So this is the difference between diabetes insipidus and diabetes mellitus. Is it clear? Now, dialysis machine. In this dialysis machine, a person's artery, those persons who are going to undergo dialysis process, in that person, a artery will be selected, and if this artery will be, from the artery a pipe, that is a tube, will be connected to the dialytic machine, dialysis machine, and from the artery they are going to take out the blood. Not taking out, it will be connected directly to the dialysis machine, and before the blood entering into the dialytic machine, they will be adding anticoagulant, mainly heparin. I think most of you know about heparin. Heparin is the pigment which is present in our body, in the blood. As long as this heparin is present in our body, blood will not clot. As long as the heparin is present inside a human being's body, blood will not clot. So this heparin will be added. It is known as anticoagulant, means it will not allow the blood to coagulate, means clot. So this heparin will be added to the blood before attaching the artery into this dialytic machine, so that the blood which is entering into the dialytic machine will not clot. Is it clear? So before attaching the artery of a person who is undergoing the process of dialysis will be introduced with an anticoagulant known as heparin. This heparin is going to be introduced. As a result of it, blood will not clot inside the dialytic machine. So now what does the dialytic machine consist of? Dialytic machine consists of tubes or channels which are made up of with cellophane. These tubes are made up of with cellophane. It is known as a material, and this cellophane is in turn it is made up of with cellulose. This is commonly seen in the papers which are used for wrapping the things. Plastic paper, light plastic paper, which is allowed to wrap the things, wrap the material. So with this material, the cellophane, that is cellophane is made up of it, and this cellophane, the tubes which are present inside the dialytic machine is made up of with cellophane, and this cellophane are in turn made up of with cellulose. I think most of you know the cellulose is a membrane. It will act as a membrane, and it will allow particles to move from one side to the other side, and it will not allow the particles to move from in a reverse direction. As a result of which, the dialytic fluid in the dialytic machine consists of a fluid. This fluid will be similar to that of plasma, excepting nitrogenous waste. Inside the tube, the blood flows, and outside the tube, it consists of dialyzing fluid. This fluid consists of plasma, excepting nitrogenous waste. Means all the material which is present in our plasma will be present in the dialytic fluid, excepting nitrogenous waste. Nitrogenous waste means whatever the waste that is present in our body will not be present in the fluid, excepting that waste, remaining material just like red blood cells, white blood cells, plasma, whatever the organic, inorganic salts that are present in the plasma, everything that is organic and inorganic salts which are present in the plasma will be present in the fluid. Only the reason is only the thing that nitrogenous waste will be absent in the fluid, and when the blood is flowing through these channels or pipes, and this is made up of with cellulose, and this will act as a membrane, and this will make the material, that is nitrogenous waste which are present in the blood which is flowing through the pipe, will be allowed to expel out, and it will be mixing with the dialyzing fluid. Means movement of particles from higher concentration to lower concentration takes place. There is zero nitrogenous waste material in the dialyzing fluid, whereas nitrogenous waste are present in the blood which is flowing through the channels, that is tubes, as a result of which the nitrogenous waste will move from the separated membrane, that is cellophane is the separating membrane. So through the cellophane, nitrogenous waste which are present in the tubes, that is in the blood, will be moving out into the dialyzing fluid. This process will take place from movement of molecules from higher concentration to lower concentration, and later on the blood which is flowing through the channels, afterwards it will be connected through renal vein. It will be connected through renal vein, and it will be sent into the person's blood, into the person's body. Is it clear? So this is the process of dialyzing machine, how it works. A main artery, one of the artery from the dialytic patient will be chosen, and it will be connected to the dialyzing machine. In the dialyzing machine, it consists of channels which are made up, channels means tubes, which will be made up of with cellophane. Cellophane will be in turn made up of with cellulose material. Cellophane is the material which will be made up of with cellulose, and this cellulose material, that is cellophane, is used in wrapping the materials which you have seen in your daily life. And as the blood is flowing through the cellophane, that is into the tubes, the remaining portion of the dialyzing machine will be made up of it, will be filled with dialyzing fluid. This dialyzing fluid consists of plasma, that is organic and inorganic salts that are present in the plasma will be present, excepting nitrogenous waste. Whatever the waste material that is present in our body will be absent in the dialyzing fluid. As a result of which, when the blood is flowing through the tubes, then the nitrogenous waste which are present inside the tubes will come out and will be mixing with plasma, because nitrogenous waste will be moving from higher concentration area to lower concentration area, which are separated by cellophane membrane. Cellulose, which is present in plants, similar to that of plants, will allow the movement of molecules from higher concentration to lower concentration. So this is the phenomenon which is present behind the Dialytic machine. Only one thing, that is entire process of kidney, whatever the kidney that is performing inside our body will be exactly done by dialytic machine. Only one difference will be there. Kidneys will be absorbing the excess amounts of water from the blood, whereas dialytic machine will not absorb any excess amounts of water. In our kidney will reabsorb the water, excess amount of water. That function will be absent in dialytic machine. Remaining removal of nitrogenous waste will be as it is. Only the thing is, nitrogenous waste will be removed, only whatever the excess amount of water that is produced in the body will not be reabsorbed by dialytic machine. It will be sent as it is into the body. So this is how the dialytic machine works in a person whose kidneys are failed. And in some of the cases, if kidneys are matching within a family or within two closely related families, then a person can donate a kidney to the person who is suffering from the kidney. If both the kidneys are damaged, if the person has to undergo dialysis every day, every fortnight or every month, then what happens? It will be very costly. So instead of that, if a healthy person whose blood is very closely related to that person can donate the kidney, and that kidney can be transplanted to that person, and that kidney will work normally as that of previous kidney. And remember one thing, that when both the kidneys are damaged, the kidneys are not going to be removed from that person's body. Instead, kidney will be attached to some portion of the artery, ureter, and it will be made to function as that of previous kidney. Both the kidneys which are failed will not be removed in any case from that person's body, but instead whatever the kidney that is being donated by some person will be attached to the excretory system of that person, as a result of which that kidney will function normally. So this is how the kidney transplantation will take place in a person whose both the kidneys are going to get damaged. This is about kidney transplantation. Now there are some other excretory organs. Apart from the kidney, there are some excretory organs which are present in human being's body. They are lungs. Lungs will expel out carbon dioxide that is present in the lungs will expel out carbon dioxide which is produced because of respiratory process. Because of respiratory process, we are going to take in oxygen, we are going to release carbon dioxide. Carbon dioxide is treated to be a excretory product of our body. So that carbon dioxide will be released by lungs. So lungs are also one of the excretory organs that are present in our body. Next, skin. Skin is also one of the excretory organ which is present in our body, which is going to excrete excess amounts of salts and water in the form of sweat. Sebaceous glands will be present underneath the skin, which produces sebum or whatever we call it as sweat, and it is going to be excreted out. Whatever the excess amounts of salts. Have you ever tested your sweat? It will be salty in nature. You taste it, it will be salty in nature. Because excess amounts of salts that are produced in our body will be removed along with the sweat. Sebaceous glands which are present inside the skin will be allowing the excess amounts of salt and water in the form of sweat. So skin can also be considered as one of the excretory organ in our body. And large intestine. Large intestine will be excreting out the undigested food material which is present in our body. Whatever the food material which we are taking in, out of that only 20 to 30% of it will be consumed by our body. Remaining 70 to 80% has to be excreted, and that portion, that is large intestine, will be helping in the removal of excess amounts of undigested food material from the body. So large intestine is another excretory organ present in our body. And one more important excretory organ that is present in our body is liver. Liver is also considered as excretory organ because all the red blood cells which are present in our blood, their lifespan is only 120 days. The lifespan of red blood cells is 120 days. All of you know, everyone knows that red blood cells are red in color because of hemoglobin. They consist of a pigment known as hemoglobin. After the death of red blood cells, the red blood cells are going to be buried in liver. Dead red blood cells in the blood will be reaching the liver and they will be buried in the liver. After they buried in the liver, hemoglobin which is present in the red blood cell will be converted into bilirubin, biliverdin and urochrome. Bilirubin and biliverdin are the pigments which helps in your body to digest the proteins. I think you have studied about the digestion process. In the second chapter you have studied about digestion. In the first chapter you have studied about digestion process. So in that digestion, liver will be secreting bilirubin and biliverdin. These are the pigments which will help in conversion, emulsification of fats, everything you have studied. So that bilirubin and biliverdin are produced because of hemoglobin which are present in the dead red blood cells. So dead red blood cells after 120 days they are going to be buried in the liver, and whatever the hemoglobin that is present in the dead red blood cells will be converted into bilirubin and biliverdin, and this bilirubin and biliverdin excess amounts will be excreted through the body, that is through the urine, and urochrome is another material which is excreted through the urine. And the persons who are taking in most amounts of proteins into their body, if a person consumes more amount of proteins into our body, then more amount of bilirubin and biliverdin will be present in that person's body. If you take less amounts of protein, less amounts of bilirubin and biliverdin will be present. If you take more amount of bilirubin, if you take more amounts of protein inside the body, then bilirubin and biliverdin will be present in excess quantities in that person's body. Is it clear? So this is how the liver, lungs, skin and large intestine are going to act as supplementary excretory organs in our body. They are supplementary, not the main. The main excretory organs present in our body is kidneys. Supplementary organs are lungs. They are going to expel out carbon dioxide. Skin, they is going to expel out sweat and excess salts. Large intestine is going to remove the undigested food material from the body. Liver is going to remove the dead red blood hemoglobin which is converted into bilirubin and biliverdin, urochrome. So these are the other supplementary excretory organs that are present in a human being's body. And when it comes to the animals, other animals other than human beings, there are several types of excretory organs which are present in them. Just only brief description about that one. I think you might have studied about the structure of amoeba. I will take amoeba as an example. Amoeba is an irregular shape. It will be in irregular shape. It consists of only cytoplasm and a nucleus. So whatever the excess amount of water or excess amount of material that is produced because of its metabolic activities, it will be converted into a contractile vacuole. Means a water vacuole which will be reaching out by bursting its skin, and this contractile vacuole will be released out by a process known as diffusion. Movement of molecules from higher concentration to lower concentration. So protozoa, it will be consisting of, since these are mainly single-celled animals, they will not have any particular excretory organs inside their body, and they will be excreting out entire water or water material which is formed because of metabolic activities through a process known as simple diffusion. Almost all the protozoans are single-celled animals. So single-celled animals, they need not require any excretory organs. Since it is single-cell, they are exposed to its surrounding directly. So simple diffusion will take place in protozoa. Porifera and coelentrates, they will be consisting of flame cells. Sorry, water bodies will almost all of them will be consisting of flame cells. Platyhelminthes, they will be consisting of rennet cells. Nematoda consists of nephridia. Annelides means earthworms only. They will be consisting of Malpighian tubules and green glands. Arthropoda, the best example is cockroach. They will be consisting of what will the cockroach consist? Huh? Metanephridia, they will be present in echinodermata and molluscs. Water vascular, that is kidneys will be, reptiles will be consisting of water vascular systems. Reptiles will be consisting of water vascular systems, and higher animals, that is mammals, will be consisting of kidneys. Human beings, including all the mammals, will consist of kidneys as the excretory organs.